to ITEP 203 lessons, quantitative methods including modeling and simulation. Today I will be discussing about the second lesson, which is Descriptive Statistics, Part 1. So this is the overview of your session. Remember that on day 1, you had your self-study of your module. Today we will have synchronous class discussion, and on day 3, you will have your asynchronous task performance. By the end of this lesson, you will understand the basic computation of central tendencies, skews, and dispersion, some tips in solving the basic descriptive statistics, apply and compute basic descriptive statistics in doing quantitative method. Here are the content of this lesson. What is descriptive statistics? When to use descriptive statistics? How to prepare descriptive statistics? Measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, measures of skew, measures of kurtosis, and the summary. So, ano nga ba yung descriptive statistics? Ang descriptive statistics, by definition, include the numbers, tables, charts, and graphs used to describe, organize, summarize, and present raw data. These are the numbers that are used to summarize and describe data. The word data refers to the information that has been collected from an experiment, a survey, a historical record, etc. So I have here an example of your summarized data about your engagement activity 1. The scores dun sa engagement activity 1 ninyo dito sa subject na to. So, from the engagement activity 1 Google form, we got this table that has the timestamp, the email address, the score, the name, the year and section, and your answers. So, in Google Form also, meron dong summary nung mga scores ninyo, or summary nung data. So, I had 211 responses, and you have their insights, and then a graph showing some information or summary about the data. So, ito yung points scored, merong naka 0 hanggang 10. Ito yung number of respondents, ilan yung nakakuha ng score na yon. So, lahat ng data ko, lahat ng scores ninyo, andito sa graph na to. At represented by these numbers, average, median, mode, and range. So, lahat nakalagay dyan yung summary. So, using this illustration, malalaman ko kung anong itsura ng data ko. For this instance, yung score ninyo. So, lahat ng kumuha sa akin ng engagement activity 1 na 10 points, ang average ng lahat ng estudyante ko ay 8.09. Kapag pinag-add ko lahat ng scores ng students, tapos dinivide ko sa 211, makukuha ko yung 8.09. So with this, makikita ko na matataas yung naging grades ng estudyante ko sa engagement activity 1. Even if meron naka 0, naka 1, naka 2, pero konti lang siya compared to yung mga nakakuha ng mataas na grade. Ang media naman, ito yung middle point. Kapag inilista mo from ascending order, yung lahat ng scores, isa-isa, ng lahat ng 211 responses, yung pinakang gitna, which is the 106th data from all the scores ay 9. So, pwede ko rin sabihin na matataas yung nakuha ng mga estudyante ko. Ibig sabihin, yung kalahati, halos naka 9 to 10. Diba? So, ang range naman ay 10 points, though it's not that significant, pero sa ibang instance, ginagamit yung range to interpret a data. So, ito naman, meron ding mode na kung saan alin dyan yung pinakang madami. So, ang pinakamadami nakakuha ay 10. Kung makikita nyo dun sa graph. Ang dami naka-perfect score. So, yung mga numbers na yun, it represents my data. Yung mga numbers na yun, ang tawag ay descriptive statistics. So, may iba't ibang uritan ng descriptive statistics. Yung kanina, medyo nakita na natin, which is the central tendency. Yung central tendency, ito yung minimeasure yung location ng data mo. Saan ba yung center ng data mo? Where data tend to fall. Yung karamihan ng data mo, dun siya nagpo-fall. So, That's central tendency. Ang dispersion naman, ito yung minimeasure yung variability ng data. Kung gaano ka-spread out yung data mo, kung gaano siya ka-vary, kung gaano siya nagkaka-iba-iba. So, ito yung minimeasure ng variance at saka ng standard deviation. Ang isa pang uri ng descriptive statistics ay ang tinatawag na skew at yung kurtosis. Ang skew, ang minimeasure nito ay yung symmetry. Okay, so kapag tinawag na symmetry, kung gaano siya ka-concentrated to the low or high end of the scale. So, papunta ba siya sa right? Karamihan ba ay papunta sa right? Or karamihan ba ay papunta sa left? So, yung symmetry ng data mo. So, pwede rin namang sa gitna. Ang kurtosis naman, ito yung gaano ka-peak yung data mo. Gaano siya ka-tayog, gaano siya ka-flat. So, yun yung kurtosis. So, let's discuss about this further using illustrations. So, when you say central tendency, the summary stat that represents the center point or typical value of a dataset. So, ito yung ating mean, median, at mode. Ito yung mean, median, at mode. So, yun yung tatlong measures of central tendency. Ang variation naman kung gaano nagva-vary yung data mo, kung gaano siya ka-spread out. So, ito, konti lang yung variation. Ito namang isa ay sobrang madaming values. So, that tells you something about your data. Pwede mong sabihin na konti lang yung variation dito, samantalang dito naman sa isa ay madami. So, naisip nyo na ba kung saang data siya useful sa interpretation? So, next, we have skew, measure of symmetry, or more precisely, the lack of symmetry. So, is it skewed to the right? Is it symmetrical or skewed to the left? So, pwedeng ganun yung itsura ng data natin. For the kurtosis naman, ito yung kung gaano ka-heavy or ka-light nung tail ng ating data. So, meron tayo dyang negative, may normal, at may positive. Leptokurtic, normal, and platykurtic distribution. So, now let's proceed to some definition of terms. Ang unang term dyan, na gusto kong explain sa ating lahat, ay variables. Ang variables ay quantities or qualities that may assume any one of a set of values. It may be classified as nominal, ordinal, and interval. So, remember, during our lesson 1, meron tayong unit. At yung unit, kapag kinuha naman siya ng characteristic, ang tawag doon ay variables. Yung mga variables na kinukuha natin from our unit, may iba't iba siyang types. Pwede siyang nominal, pwede siyang ordinal, pwede rin siyang interval. So, ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng tatlo? Kapag nominal, ito ay mga names, categories, labels for qualitative values. Ang isang halimbawa nito ay gender, ethnicity, and job title. So, if you will get variable na nominal, ito ay mga variables na kung saan ay categorical. You cannot represent it by numbers. Halimbawa nito ay ang gender. It's either male or female. Ethnicity, madaming ethnicity. Pero wala siyang order of sequence. Hindi pwedeng sabihin na number 1 ang Filipino, number 2 yung Korean. So, lahat ng values ay magkakapantay. Kapag naman job title, admin staff, programmer, etc. So, yun yung halimbawa ng nominal variable. Kapag nominal variable, iba yung representation nito. Kadalasan, ang representation ng mga nominal variable ay using frequency table. Ilan yung male, ilan yung female. Kadalasan din ginagamit dyan na representation or graphical representation ay pie chart o kaya naman ay bar graph para makita mo yung difference or yung distribution ng gender, ng ethnicity, or ng job title. So, next, let's proceed to the ordinal type variable. Para siyang nominal variable din, pero merong order or rank of the categories which are meaningful. So, here is an example. So, merong mga variable na kung saan ito ay ordinal. Kadalasan, itong ginagamit sa satisfaction level, sa agreement level. During your survey, you want to know their satisfaction ng customer mo. You want to know the level of expertise or preparedness ng estudyante mo. So, ito yung ginagamit mo na type of variable kapag ganun yung variables na kukunin mo. So, we have here examples. Rank. Halimbawa, yung tanong mo ay pang ilan ka sa sa inyong klase. First, second, third. So, merong degree. Meron din namang agreement level. Do you agree in proceeding to the new normal? Disagree? Neutral? Agree? Or customer satisfaction? How satisfied are you sa product ng isang company or isang institution? Pwede mo sabihin doon na not satisfied, neutral, or satisfied. So, kadalasan, ang ginagamit din dito na descriptive statistics or representation is pie chart and bar graph. Sa nominal tsaka sa ordinal para magkaroon ng meaning yung ating data or summarized data. Ang last example of variable ay interval. Ang interval naman, ito yung variables na continuous at yung difference between the values is both meaningful and allow statements about extent or degree. Ang halimbawa nito ay income tsaka age. Ang tawag doon ay interval variable. So here is an example. So for the age, ang pwede mo dyang i-store na data ay numerical values. Pwedeng 0 to 120. Pwede rin naman na weight in kilogram. Ang pwede mong i-store dyan is numerical values din. Na pwedeng merong decimal point. And then, for the room temperature, pwede rin na meron namang negative values. So, sa interval variables, dito mo na ina-apply yung descriptive statistics, karamihan ng descriptive statistics mo. Pwede mo bang kuhanan yung mean ng gender? Di ba hindi? So, sa age, pwede mong kuhanin yung mean, yung median, tsaka yung mode. Pero sa nominal tsaka sa ordinal, pwede mong kunin yung mode. So, nagba-vary sa type of variables yung descriptive statistics na pwede mong i-apply doon. So, here are sample survey questions. So, you have here, what is your gender? Diba, kapag kukuha ka na ng data, meron ka dyang survey questionnaires. So, merong mga variables na nominal scale or nominal variables such as hair color, gender, where do you live. Kasi hindi mo siya pwedeng i-represent as number na pwede mong kahanan yung mean, median, and mode. Meron din namang ordinal scales. Ayan, how do you feel today? Very happy, unhappy, okay, happy, very happy. How satisfied? So, meron ding interval scale. Ito yung time of each day, temperature, IQ test, test scores, at meron din palang ratio scales. May difference sila. Pero ang ginamit sa ating module ay interval lamang. So, here is a real survey questionnaire example. Ito, sinugutan namin to a few months ago or a few weeks ago from the time of yung upload nitong video na to. So, meron silang study about preparedness of SUCs in Calabarzon in the implementation of flexible learning in the new normal. Kapag sinabing SUCs, ay state universities and colleges. Gaano ba ka-prepared yung SUC sa Calabarzon, sa Region 4A, in the implementation of flexible learning in the new normal? So, kinuha nila yung demographic profile, kinuha rin yung implementation of flexible learning in SUCs. So, sa demographic profile, kinuha yung age. Ito ay isa sa mga variables. Sa palagay nyo, anong klaseng variable yung age? Okay, numerical value. So, let's see kung tama yung sagot nyo mamaya. Yung sex or gender, anong klaseng variable siya? Yung type of respondent, anong type of variable ba yung type of respondent? Meron dyang faculty, merong student. SUC, anong SUC? Yung kinabibilangan nung sinusurvey. And then, yung, ito, as a faculty member student, I can say that the SUC designs flexible learning. So, evaluation of the preparedness, strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. So, as you can see, every survey has different types of variables. At yung variable na yun, kapag kuno mo yung descriptive statistics nun, iba't iba siya ng graphical representation. At iba't iba rin yung descriptive statistics na pwede mong gamitin. Hindi lahat ng uri ng variables ay pwede mong kuhanan ng mean, ng median. Pwede mo bang kuhanan ng mean at median yung male and female? Yung type of respondent, hindi. Ano yung pwede mong kuhanan dyan? Frequency distribution. So, the type of variable matters in your representation and in your interpretation of your data. So, kanina, tinanong natin kung anong uri ng ng variable. So, for the age, it's ratio or interval kasi may difference yung ratio at interval. Kapag ratio, ibig sabihin meron siyang true zero. Sa age, hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng negative 2 na age, right? Pero pwede ka sa temperature, pwede ka magkaroon ng negative 2. Kapag hindi pwede magkaroon ng negative ang isang numerical value, ang tawag doon ay ratio. Other than that, ang tawag doon is interval kapag numerical data yung kinukuha mo. And this, the sex, type of respondent, as you see, are all nominal. While ito, na may scales, ang tawag dito is ordinal. So I hope that by now you understand the types of variables: nominal, ordinal, and ratio, and interval. Okay, so let's proceed to other definition of terms. We have here frequency distribution. Summarize and compress data by grouping them into classes and recording how many data points fall into each class. So I have here an example of frequency distribution. Anong type ng data ito? What's currently your primary major? So yan yung tanong sa survey at sumagot yung mga respondents. Yung total of 183 respondents, 62 sa kanila ay psychology, 35 ay economy, 33 ay sociology, 37 ay anthropology, at yung iba naman ay 16. So, sa frequency distribution, binibilang mo yung number of people per category. And then you will get the percentage of that value per category. So when you put them in a table, ang tawag doon is frequency distribution. Kalimitan, frequency distribution yung ginagamit to interpret nominal and ordinal data. So let's try to interpret this table. We can see that the largest percentage of the people that has been surveyed are in psychology major, but the list are in the others. Anong sunod dun sa psychology? Ang sumunod sa kanya is anthropology. So, pwede mong tanungin, bakit kaya psychology yung karamihan ng primary or major ng mga na-survey ko? So, depende pa rin ito sa iyong goal or objective ng iyong study. Next, measures of central tendency naman yung pag-usapan natin. So, kanina, pag-usapan na natin ito somehow. Pero sa measures of central tendency, meron siyang tatlong measures. Yung una ay mean, pangalawa ay median, pangatlo ay mode. Ang mean, ito yung average. Ito yung most common measure of central tendency. So, ipag-add mo lahat ng values mo, i-divide mo sa total number. Yun ay mean. Ang median naman, ito yung pinakang gitna ng data mo. So, all you have to do is to arrange in order, in ascending order, yung pinakang data mo, tapos hanapin mo yung gitna. So, kapag nahanap mo na yung gitna, ang tawag doon ay median. Iba siya sa mean. Yung mean, yun yung average, yung median, yung pinakang gitnang value. Ang mode naman, ito yung pinakang occurring most often in the data. So, that's the mode. Here is an example of our mean. You just have to add all the numbers and then divide it by the amount of numbers. In this case, we have 9, 3, 1, 8, 3, and 6. So, the total number here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yung sum niya ay 30 divided by 6, which is the total number of the values. For this instance, the mean is 5. Yung median naman, ito yung gitna. So, iba siya kapag even number yung total n mo or size of your sample. Iba rin kapag odd number. And then the mode, alin dyan yung pinakang malimit na number? 3. So, the mode is 3. That's just an overview. Later, we will be discussing about the formula. Let's proceed to the measures of dispersion. For the measures of dispersion, it indicates how spread out the data are around the mean. So, kung gaano naman siya ka-vary. Kung gaano siya iba-iba. Meron tayo dyang variance, standard deviation, and coefficient of variation. Ang variance, it is expressed as the sum of the squares of the differences between each observation and the mean, which quantity is then divided by the sample size. Ang standard deviation naman is expressed as the positive square root of the variance. So, kinukuha ito sa value ng variance. Ang coefficient of variation naman, it is the relative dispersion by dividing the standard deviation by the mean and then multiplying by 100 to render a percent. Kinukuha naman yung coefficient of variation from standard deviation. So here is an example of the data. For this instance, it is population variance. So ito yung ating symbol for population variance. You will get the summation of all the squared difference of each data from the mean and then divide it by the sample size. So dito, ito yung mga data mo, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in this instance, ito ay isang uri ng interval or ratio variable type. Kaya mo nakukuha yung variance, standard deviation, tsaka yung coefficient of variation. So the mean for all the data, so kapag ito pinag-add mo at dinivide mo into 6, kasi meron tayong 6 data number or size of your data. If you're gonna add 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then divide it by 6, you will get 2.83. Tapos, kada item or kada value ng kada data mo, ima-minus mo doon yung mean. So, you will get this. You will get these values. And then, you will square the values. So, you will get this values. Ito na dito. And then, kapag pinag-add mo sila, it's 10.84. Divided by n, which is 6, you will get 1.81. So, this is variance. From the variance, square root mo lang siya, makukuha mo na yung standard deviation. And then, from the standard deviation, you can get the coefficient of variation. Now, let's proceed to another term, the measures of dispersion. Meron tayo dyang range, percentiles, and quartiles. These are another types of measures of dispersion, by the way, aside from standard deviation, variance, and coefficient. Meron tayong range, percentiles, and quartiles. So, yung range measures the distance between the lowest and the highest values. Madali lang itong kuhanin. Ang percentiles measure the percentage of data points which lie below a certain value when the values are ordered. And then the quartiles are group observations such that 25% are arranged together according to their values. So, mas maintindihan natin yan later in our discussion. So, here is an example of range, percentile, and quartiles. For the measures of skew naman, ito yung gaano ka-concentrated yung data points mo. At the high and low end of the scale of measurement, gaano siya ka-concentrated to the left or to the right. Ang measures of kurtosis naman, yun nga, kung gaano siya ka-peak or gaano siya ka-flat. May tatlong uri ng measures of kurtosis or distribution. Mesocortic, platycortic, and leptocortic. Ang mesocortic, ito yung normal bell curve. Hindi ito sobrang tayog, hindi rin naman ito sobrang flat. Kumbaga ay neutral lamang. Ang platycortic naman, ito yung flatter than the normal bell curve, kaya nga siya platycortic. Ang leptocortic naman, ito ay mas matayog than a normal bell curve. So, kailan ba natin gagamitin yung different descriptive statistics? Gagamitin mo yung measures of frequency when you want to show how often a response is given. Yung central tendency naman, you will use this when you want to show how an average or most common indicated response. Ang dispersion, if you want to show how spread out the data are. And then, yung ating mga measures of position, you will use this when you need to compare scores to a normalized score. So, yung kurtosis, kung gano'n naman ka-peak or ka-flat yung iyong data or yung curve, while yung skew naman is the degree of distortion. So, when to use descriptive statistics? So, we already discussed that descriptive statistics include frequencies and percentages for categorical or ordinal and nominal data and averages, and standard deviation for continuous data. So, it's useful for two purposes. Una, to provide basic information about variables in a data set, to highlight potential relationships between variables. It is recommended when the objective is to describe and discuss a data set more generally and conveniently than would be possible using raw data alone. And they are routinely used in reports which contain a significant amount of qualitative or quantitative data. Descriptive stats help summarize and support assertions of facts. So, ngayon, paano nga ba mag-prepare ng descriptive statistics? So, meron tayong mga tinatawag na statistical analysis software. At karamihan ng spreadsheets application, they generate all the required descriptive statistics. So, ito yung mga computer applications in order for us to prepare our data and to get the descriptive statistics out of our data. For reference purposes, I'm gonna be showing you the formulas. So, kung mapapansin niyo, merong mga uppercase Latin letters. Kapag uppercase Latin letters yung ginamit natin, ito ay referring to population parameters. Samantalang kapag lowercase Latin letters naman, it refers to sample statistics. So now, let's proceed to measures of central tendency, the mean, median, and mode. This is the formula for our population mean. For symbol, we use the Greek letter mu. So you will get the summation of all your x and then divided by the number of items. So we have also the sample mean bar x and then the number of items for that sample. Ito yung example. Find the mean of this data, 1, 2, 4, and 5. Ilan yung sample size natin? Ilan ba yung 1, 2, 4, and 5? Ilang items yan? 4. So to get the mean, you just have to add all your data and then divide it by your mean, your sample size. So for this instance, 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 is equal to 12. While there are 4 data points, you have to divide 12 by 4 and then you will get 3. That is the mean. In Excel, you use formulas such as average, average A, average if, and average if S. Yung average, it returns an average of numbers. Ito yung usually yung ginagamit natin. Yung average A naman, it returns an average of cells with any data. Kasi yung average, applicable lang to sa numerical data. Pero paano kapag boolean, paano kapag text values, ang pwede mong gamitin doon is average A. Yung average if naman, kapag meron kang single criteria or single criterion. Kapag average if S naman, ito yung multiple criteria. So how to use it? So you have here your data, item, cherry, banana, apple, cherry, and banana. The status are delivered or canceled or in transit. The amount per item is stated here on this column, amount. So you want to get the mean for your amount. Kasi ito lang yung pwede mong kuhanan ng mean, di ba? So, ang formula to get the mean for all your items ay average, and then ano yung range ng cells mo, ilalagay mo rin doon. Yung average if naman, para magamit mo siya, una, kailangan mong kuhanan yung mga set of categories mo. A2 to A8. So, ano yung kinukuha niyan? Itong A2 to A8. Out of your categories, I want to get a specific category, A14, which is banana. So, ang gusto ko lang kuhanan ng average ay yung mga items or amount ng mga banana. And then the range nung kukuhanan mo ng average. So, you have here your categories, the specific category, and then your range of data. And then, for banana, the average is $136.67. Kapag naman multiple, ang gagamitin mo dyan, multiple criteria, ang gagamitin mo dyan ay average if S. Ano yung criteria na ginamit mo dito? The type of item, which is banana. Pero paano kung gusto mong kuhanan yung banana na delivered? Yun na yung gusto mong kunin ng average. Banana na na-deliver na. So, all you have to do is to get the range, kung ano yung iyong gustong kuhanin ng mean. Tapos, yung first category mo, A2 to A8. And then the specific category, and then the next category, dito mo siya kukuhanin sa B. And then the specific category, which is delivered. So, yung mga banana na deliver na, you want to get the mean. So, yung 70, tsaka yung 250, pinag-add mo siya, naging 320 divided by 2, that's 160. So, lahat lang ng banana na delivered, yung kukuhanan niya ng average, hindi kasama yung ibang category. So that's how you use mean in Excel. You will use average, average if, average A, or average if S. For the median naman, ito yung formula for your population raw data. And then, ito yung sample raw data or the number of items. Okay. So, ito yung example. Find the median of this data. 1, 4, 2, 5, 0. Ilan yung n natin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, all you have to do is put the data in order first. So, dapat siya ay in order, ascending order. So, 0 muna, sunod ay 1, sunod ay 2, sunod ay 4, and then 5. So, there is an odd number of data points. Ilan ba yung data natin? 5. So, ang median ay yung gitnang data point, which is 2. Ngayon, paano naman kapag even number yung data points? Kapag even number, ganun din. So, you'll find the median for 10, 40, 20, and 50. So, put the data in ascending order first. So, 10, 20, 40, 50. Ilan yung ating data points? 4. Hindi mo siya pwedeng kuhanin yung pinakang gitna kasi 4 lang siya. So, all you have to do is to get the average of the middle two data points. In this case, it's 20 and 40. So, 20 plus 40 divided by 2 is equal to 30. The median for this case, in this case, is 30. Sa Excel naman, ang ginagamit mo na formula ay median. Median, tapos kunin mo yung kanyang range. So, the median for this data ay 100. So, kita naman natin, di ba? 70, 90, 90, naka-arrange na siya. Sa pinakang gitna niya is 100. O, diba? Mabilis lang sa Excel. For the mode, ayan yung ating formula. For population yung kabila, tapos ito naman ay for the sample. Here is an example. Miss Norris asked students in her class how many siblings they each had. So, lahat ng estudyante niya sumagot ng kung ilan yung kanilang kapatid. May sumagot ng 0, may sumagot ng 1, may sumagot ng 2, may sumagot ng 3, may sumagot ng 5. So, all you have to do is to arrange your data, tapos hanapin mo kung ano yung pinakang common na value. Kung siya yung pinakamadami, yun yung mode. So, the mode is 1 sibling. So, karamihan ng kapatid ng kanya mga estudyante, the number of siblings ng estudyante niya ay isa lamang. So, another example. Ayan, paano naman kung parehong dalawang data yung magkapareho sila ng mas madami? If there is a tie for the value that occurs the most often, dalawa yung mode natin, 1 and 2. In Excel, you use the formula mode and then the range ng cells na kukuhanin mo. So, dito, mode for C2 to C8 is 90. Actually, pwede rin siya sa mga nominal data. Okay.